All right. Oh, let's see. I hope I didn't ruin it. Microphone working. Oops. Started without having the microphone plugged in. I hope it's working though. Shalom, shalom. Palmetto Paratrooper, good to see you, brother. Thanks for always being here. Let me know if you would, please, if the microphone's working. As usual, I'm still figuring all of this out. But I got video that I'm going to share with you today. I don't know. I don't think I'm screen sharing. Can you hear me? 5x5 if you can. Shalom, Moose Run. Tenacious Tortoise, shalom. Good evening. How you guys doing? Brenda Prince, shalom. All right, cool. You guys can hear me. Does it sound like it's coming through the mic, or is it? You should be able to tell. So I'm gonna share a little trailer that Lucia put together, but first we're gonna let some people get in here. Your mic should be in soon. Oh, okay, awesome. Looking forward to that. Thank you, brother. Really do appreciate that. It was extremely generous of you. And JS Genesis Designs, he's not in here yet. He'll probably be in here. He usually jumps in at some point. But yeah, thank you guys. Big time. Richard Barber, here I am. Sorry that we're doing another late one, man. I'm sorry. Know that you go to bed early and wake up early. You have to do what you got to do. So we'll try not to hold out too long. I want to share this trailer. A lot of you guys have already seen it. Lucia worked really hard on it, and she's been putting a lot of time and oh, let me plug. Maybe that's better. I don't know. It wasn't plugged in all the way, but hopefully I didn't just cut out my audio altogether. Looks like it's picking up. Anyways, Lucia's gonna be doing a little. It's an educational video about vaccines. It's a controversial topic. It's very relevant, especially for us in the last, I don't know, it's been like 5 years now. But not just the, the big ones, but there's a lot of them. Are any of them safe? That's a question that she's going to be tackling, and we're going to study it as subjectively as we can, because we do have. I mean, I'll just tell you right now, we don't do them. We don't trust them. We trust that God's going to protect us, and that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob weren't doing that, and they weren't doing that to their children. And so I'll just tell you right now, that's my bias. That's what I do. What we don't do. We don't mess with them. But are there any good ones? We want to know. We don't want to just have a dogma. We want to know why we do and don't do what we do and don't do. So anyways, Lucia's working really hard on that. Hopefully I'm able to share it on here. I'm going to go ahead and give that a shot. Learning the Way, Shalom, and Humble Child, J.R. Cleve. Bless you guys. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. We will go ahead and we'll go ahead and see if I can share my screen. We'll share this entire window. The gloves are off. That's the one I want to share. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Right quick. Hold on. I don't know if it's going to give you audio though. So we will see. Okay. I'm going to try this.
In a world that rejects truth and glorifies deception, we find a rare sect of...
All right, I'm going to pause it. I need feedback. Are you guys able to hear anything going on with that, or is it just silent? Oh, you can hear it? That is too cool. Okay, I'll go ahead and let it play. Boom.
People standing up for what is right. What if I told you that what we have been fed from the media about our medical industry is indeed full of lies? Would you be surprised? Would you want to know the whole truth or only part of it? I'm going to take you back with me. We're going to go back to the beginning. The gloves are off. I'll speak boldly and share with you the facts.
All right. That's the trailer. She's going to be talking to a lot of people who have done very extensive research and talked to some of the brilliant minds in the medical industry, both naturopathic and modern Western medicine. And she's going to compile some information. It's saying Brenda Prince is hidden by Sanctified Supply Co. What? Why would we would, I didn't hide Brenda Prince. Message deleted. View deleted message. I didn't do that. Unhide user on this channel. I'm sorry, Brenda Prince. I don't know why that would happen. Your messages are great. You're fine. I don't know why that happened. Thank you for noticing that, Lush. But yeah, so that's cool. I'm able to kind of share some clips with you guys. We learn a lot through the YouTubes and our internet searches, and we'll be able to kind of compile some educational material here for you and try to give you as non-biased of a perspective as possible. Now, it kind of goes without saying that we're not going to be able to share that video, unfortunately, here on YouTube. So we do have a Rumble. Lucia, I'm not sure if you can put the link for our Rumble in the chat. That would be awesome. But that's where we're going to, it's also going to be on Patreon, but you don't have to be paying to be on our Patreon to get the video, but it will be there as well if you don't want to have like the Rumble app or whatever. If you're already using Patreon, that's another place you can get it. And we have, $5 a month is our lowest tier of entry on Patreon, and we do use that money to buy tracks to give to people as an evangelistic tool. And we're working on a bunch of other cool stuff with the Patreon funds. We're using all the money that we get over there to go back into spreading the gospel and reaching the lost sheep. So that's what we're doing over there. And stay tuned over there on Rumble or Patreon for that video. Okay, so we are in chapter 10. Let me share my screen again so that you guys can follow along. There we go. Share. All right. Back over here. Make sure y'all can see it okay. I did increase the size of the font so that if you're listening to this on your, if you're watching it on your phone, you can read it, hopefully. Country Dad, Jericho, she is at the same place she was last time. What was it? Okay. Perfect font size for your phone. Good. That's awesome. Okay. I know I had some feedback and it helped me to kind of dial this in a little bit so that it's readable, because I want this to be, if you're seeing it with your eyes, you're hearing it with your ears, you're going to absorb the word better. And I am not on the right place. I was reading Revelation. That's a video to come. JS Genesis Designs, myself, and Moose from Moose Run Coffee are going to be doing a video on the two witnesses. And as you can see here, I was reading Revelation. to kind of brush up on what I know about those two witnesses. We want to know everything that's in Scripture referring to them, who they are, what they are, and that should be a really interesting video as well. JS Genesis Designs has some information to share with us. He's been studying the topic and should be a very edifying video. So I'll have to convene with you two, Moose and JS Genesis, to we'll discuss when we can get together. And I don't even know how to do that, how to invite people on the platform, but we'll make it happen. Okay. I don't know how I'm do this. Let me get over to Numbers. I think we're on chapter 10. I'm on chapter 10, you guys. Sorry, I should know that. Okay. Numbers chapter 10, I think so. See, that's the downside to not reading out of a physical copy of a Bible, is I can't just throw a bookmark in it and actually see where I left off. But okay, we'll just start in chapter 10. I think that's where we're at. So let's do it. Okay, yeah, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for being here. Our brother Tyson James shouted us out on YouTube, and a bunch of you guys jumped over here. A bunch of people subscribed to us, so we got like 20 new subs since the other day. So if you jumped over here from Tyson James's channel, welcome. We do a lot of Bible reading. We print t-shirts. That's how we're able to help Tyson James with his music. If you guys haven't heard of Tyson James, he's a rapper. He is a very bold. He's Christian, conservative. He's really shifted gears recently from the political arena back to faith-based, mostly music. But there's no getting around that there are political things that we have to touch on. You know, when it comes to two genders, that somehow is controversial, right? To talk about only two genders. But we just stand on what the word says. And, you know, our faith, just by believing what the Bible says, can be offensive. It's never our goal to get people riled up or to offend them. But I personally am taking offense, okay? And this offense is the same word as offense, but it's taking the fight to the enemy. We're not trying to backpedal here. We want to move forward. That's why we're doing what we're doing. We're trying to keep you guys with evangelistic tools to go out there, share your faith, read the word with you and to you so that you can rightly divide the word of truth, give an answer for the faith that's in you, that sort of thing. But anyways, Tyson James is about it. We love that guy. And if you're from his channel, that's all I wanted to say. Welcome. Without further ado, let's read. All right. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, chapter 10, verse 1, saying, make 2 silver trumpets for yourself. Make them of beaten work, and you shall use them for the gathering of the congregation and for breaking camp. And when they blow both of them, all the congregation shall meet before you at the door of the tent of appointment. And if they blow one, then the heads of the thousands of Israel shall gather to you. And when you blow a shout, the camps that lie on the east side shall depart. And when you blow a shout the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall depart. They blow a shout for them to depart. And when the assembly is to be assembled, you blow, but do not shout. And the sons of Aharon, the priests, blow with the trumpets, and it shall be to you for a law forever throughout your generations. And when you go into battle and in your land against the enemy that distresses you, then you shall shout with the trumpet, and you shall be remembered before Yahweh Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies. And in the day of your gladness and in your appointed times, And at the beginning of your new moons, you shall blow the trumpets over the ascending offerings and over your slaughterings of peace offerings. And they shall be a remembrance for you before your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim. And it came to be on the 20th day of the second new moon, in the second year, that the cloud was taken up from above the dwelling place of the witness. And the children of Israel departed, setting out from the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud dwelt on it in the wilderness of Paran. Thus they departed the first time according to the mouth of Yahweh by the hand of Moshe. And the banner of the camp of the children of Yehuda departed first according to their divisions. And over their army was Nahshon, son of Amminadab. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Issachar was Nathaniel, son of Tzur. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Zebulun was Eliab, son of Helon. And the dwelling place was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari departed, bearing the dwelling place. And the banner of the camp of Reuben departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Elitzur, son of Shedeur. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Shemuel was Shelumiel, son of Surishadai. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Gad was Eliasaph, the son of Duel. And the Kehathites departed, bearing the set-apart objects, while the dwelling place was set up before they came. And the banner of the camp of the children of Ephraim departed according to their divisions. And over their army was Elishama, son of Ammihud. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Manasseh was Gamliel, son of Pedatsur. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Benjamin was Abidan, son of Gidoni. Then the banner of the camp of the children of Dan, which formed the rear guard of the camp of all the camps, departed according to their divisions, and over their armies was Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Asher was Pagiel, son of Ochran. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Naphtali was Ahira, son of Enan. Such as the order of setting out the children of Israel, such was the order of setting out of the children of Israel, according to their divisions when they departed. And Moshe said to Hobab, the son of Reuel, the Midianite, Moshe's father-in-law, we are set out for the place of which Yahweh said, I give it to you. Come with us, and we shall do good to you. And Yahweh has spoken good concerning Israel. And he replied to him, I am not going, but I am going to my own land, to my relatives. Then he said, please do not leave us, because you know how we are to camp in the wilderness, and you shall be our eyes. And it shall be, when you go with us, then it shall be that whatever good Yahweh does to us, the same we shall do to you. So they set out from the mountain of Yahweh on a journey of 3 days, and the ark of the covenant of Yahweh went before them for the 3 days' journey to seek out a resting place for them. And the cloud of Yahweh was above them by day, and they went out from the camp. And it came to be, whenever the ark set out, that Moshe said, rise up, O Yahweh, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee before you. Oops. What did I do? And when it rested, he said, return, O Yahweh, to the countless thousands of Israel. Command bow. There we go. Chapter 11. You guys, if you're with me, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up real quick. It'll push it in the algorithm so other people will see it. All right, chapter 11. And it came to be, when the people are as complainers, it was evil in the ears of Yahweh, and Yahweh heard it, and his displeasure burned, And the fire of Yahweh burned among them and consumed those in the outskirts of the camp. And the people cried out to Moshe, and Moshe prayed to Yahweh, and fire died down. And the fire died down, sorry. Then he called the name of that place Taberah, because the fire of Yahweh had burned among them. And the mixed multitude who were in the midst lusting greatly. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, Who is giving us meat to eat? We remember the fish which we ate without cost in Egypt, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our being is dried up. There is nothing to look at but this manna. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its appearance like the appearance of bdellium. The people went about and gathered it, ground it on millstones, and beat it in the mortar, and cooked it in a pot and made cakes of it. And its taste was like the taste of cakes baked with oil. And when the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna fell on it. And Moshe heard the people weeping throughout their clans, each man at the door of his tent. And the displeasure of Yahweh burned exceedingly. In the eyes of Moshe, it was evil. So Moshe said to Yahweh, why have you done evil to your servant? And why have I not found favor in your eyes to put the burden of these people on me? Was it I who conceived all these people? Was it I who brought them forth? That you should say to me, carry them in your bosom, as the foster father carries a nursing child to the land which you swore to their fathers? Where am I to get meat to give all these people? For they weep before me, saying, Give us meat to eat. I am unable to bear all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. And if you are doing this to me, kill me. Please kill me. If I have found favor in your eyes, and let me not see my evil. Then Yahweh said to Moshe, Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of appointment, and let them stand there with you. And I shall come down and speak with you there, and shall take of the spirit that is on you, and put on them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, so that you do not bear it yourself alone. Very interesting. So he's going to take the spirit that's on Moshe, and he's going to also put it on these 70 other elders. That's very interesting. Verse 18. And say to the people, Set yourself apart for tomorrow. Sanctify yourself for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat, because you have wept in the hearing of Yahweh, saying, Who is giving us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. And Yahweh shall give you meat, and you shall eat. You are going to eat not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a new moon of days, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes an abomination to you, because you have rejected Yahweh, who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, Why did we come out of Mitzrayim? And Moshe said, The people in whose midst I am are 600,000 men on foot. And you have said, I give them meat to eat for a new moon of days. That's a lot of meat, folks. Okay. A new moon, round about 30 days ish, right? A whole month, from new moon to new moon. 600,000 men. That's men. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that 600,000 men is just counted from age 30 to 50. It's a lot of people. That's probably easily, 1.5 million people. And he's going to give them all meat for a whole month. Verse 22. Could flocks and herds be slain for them to be sufficient for them? Or could all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to be sufficient for them? And Yahweh said to Moshe, "Is the arm of Yahweh too short? Now see whether my word meets you or not."
Did the cat get out of our house?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm paranoid that he's like hiding somewhere.
And Moshe went out and spoke to the people the words of Yahweh. And he gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people and placed them around the tent. And Yahweh came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and placed the same upon the 70 elders. And it came to be, when the spirit rested upon them, that they prophesied, but did not continue. Interesting. Don't mind her.
He must have gone.
Yeah, he's probably outside. Verse 26. However, 2 men had remained in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the spirit rested upon them. Now they were among those listed, but did not go out of the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. Okay. So let's back up a little bit. I don't want to gloss over this stuff. We want to actually absorb what we're reading. Back to verse 25. And Yahweh came down in the cloud and spoke to him, Moshe, and took of the spirit that was upon him, Moshe, and placed the same upon the 70 elders. Okay. And it came to be, when the spirit rested upon them, that they prophesied, but did not continue. That is interesting. Maybe they did not continue to prophesy, did not continue to have that spirit. We'll read on and find out. However, two men that remained in the camp, the name of the one Eldad and the name of the other Medad, and the spirit rested upon them. Now they were among those listed, but did not go out of the tent, and they prophesied in the camp. And a young man ran and informed Moshe and said, "Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp." And Yehoshua, son of Nun, Joshua, Moshe's assistant from his youth, answered and said, "Moshe, my master, forbid them." And Moshe said to him, "Are you jealous for my sake? Oh, that all the people of Yahweh were prophets, that Yahweh would put his spirit upon them." Hallelujah and amen. And Moshe returned to the camp, both he and the elders of Israel. And the wind went forth from Yahweh, and it brought quail from the sea, and let them fall beside the camp, about a day's journey on this side, and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground, roughly 6 feet deep. Quail. Okay, it's a lot of meat. And the people were up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and gathered the quail. He who had least gathered 10 omers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. And the meat was still between their teeth before it was chewed. And the wrath of Yahweh burned against the people, and Yahweh struck the people with an exceeding great plague. Then he called the name of that place Kibroth Hata'awa, because there they buried the people who had lusted. From Kibroth Hata'awa, the people set out for Hatzereth, and they were at Hatzereth. Command, bow. Chapter 12. I'm going to jump back over here real quick. All right. So yeah, that's a lot of meat. Let's keep on reading. Chapter 12. Now Miriam, excuse me. Now Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moshe because of the Cushite woman whom he had taken, for he had taken a Cushite woman. Moshe did, right? Is that one of the sons of Cush, who I believe was the son of Ham? Maybe I'm wrong on that. Sorry. And they said, has Yahweh spoken only through Moshe? Has he not also spoken through us? And Yahweh heard it. And Yahweh heard it. And the man Moshe was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. And suddenly Yahweh said to Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, you three come out of the tent of appointment. So the three came out. Sorry. Excuse me. So the three came out. And Yahweh came down in the column of cloud and stood in the door of the tent and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both went forward. And he said, hear now my words. If your prophet is of Yahweh, I make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream. Not so with my servant Moshe. He is trustworthy in all my house. I speak with him mouth to mouth and plainly and not in riddles. And he sees the form of Yahweh. So why were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moshe? And the displeasure of Yahweh burned against them, and he left. And the cloud turned away from above the tent, and look, Miriam was leprous, as white as snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and look, a leper. And Yahweh said to Moshe, O my master, please do not hold against us the sin in which we have done foolishly and in which we have sinned. Please do not let her be as one dead when coming out of his mother's womb, with his flesh half consumed. And Moshe cried out to Yahweh, saying, O El, please heal her, please. And Yahweh said to Moshe, if her father had put spit in her face, would she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and after that let her be remitted. So this leprosy that Yahweh put on her was what it sounds to me like an equivalent, or like of her having her father spit in her face. She was being shamed, okay? But she's being put outside the camp, and the people did not set out until Miriam was redeemed. And afterward, the people departed from Hatzeroth and the camp in the wilderness of Paran. And they camped in the wilderness of Paran. How? Chapter 13. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. Send one man from each tribe of their fathers, every one a leader among them. And by the mouth of Yahweh, Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all the men who were heads of the children of Israel. And these were their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zakur; from the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, son of Hori; from the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, son of Yefuneh; from the tribe of Issachar, Yigel, son of Yosef; from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun; from the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu; from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodai; from the tribe of Yosef; from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadai, son of Susai, or Suzi; from the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gamali; from the tribe of Asher, Shether, son of Michael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Wolfsai; from the tribe of Gad, Geuel, son of Maki. These are the names of the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land. And Moshe called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Yehoshua. Yehoshua. Joshua. And Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, Go up here into the south, and go up to the mountains, and see what the land is like, and the people who dwell in it, whether strong or weak, whether few or many, and whether the land they dwell in is good or evil, whether the cities they inhabit are in camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. And you shall be strong and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first fruits of grapes. So they went up and spied. Sorry, this happens every time I'm reading. So they went and spied out the land from the wilderness of Sin, as far as Rehob, near the entrance of Hamath. And they went up through the south and came to Hebron, and Ahiman, Sheshai, and Telmai, and descendants of Anak were there. Now Hebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim, in Egypt. And they came to the Wadi Eshcol, and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes. Catch this, guys. And they bore it between two of them on a pole, also of the pomegranates and of the figs. That place was called the Wadi Eshcol, because of the cluster which the men of Israel cut down from there. And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moshe and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they reported to him and said, We went to the land where you sent us, and truly it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. But the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are walled, very great. And we saw the descendants of Anak there too. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, while the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains. And the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan. And Caleb silenced the people before Moshe and said, Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are certainly able to overcome it. Good old Caleb. But the men who had gone up with him said, We are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And if you don't know, the Amalekites were giants. And some of those other tribes that were mentioned as well. Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Canaanites. There's good reason to believe that many of them were giants. Especially, at least I'm confident about the Amalekites, but let's move on. But the men who had gone up said, We are not able to go against them. Verse 32, and they gave the children of Israel an evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, The land through which we have gone up as spies is a land eaten up. Is a land eating up its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. And we saw there the Nephilim, sons of Anak, of the Nephilim, and we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes. So they are showing that they are afraid. They do not have faith that although the Heavenly Father brought them out of Israel through the Red Sea, swallowed up the Egyptian armies, brought down plagues, brought water from the rock, brought quail, manna, all these miracles, and they still don't trust the Most High. Okay. Can't imagine Yahweh's going to be pleased with this. Then all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and all the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel grumbled against Moshe and against Aaron. And all the congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. And why is Yahweh bringing us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children should become prey? Would it not be better for us to turn back to Egypt? And they said to each other, let us appoint a leader and let us turn back to Egypt. And Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel, and Yehoshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Yefuneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their garments. These young men were very displeased. And they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If Yahweh has delighted in us, then he shall bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which is flowing with milk and honey. So I've been wanting to make a new t-shirt for a while now, and it's going to say, no cowards in the kingdom. Okay? No cowards in the kingdom. Imagine if the disciples had cowardice in them. They would have rejected their faith in the Messiah. Caleb and Joshua, they were not cowardice. David was not cowardice. No cowards in the kingdom. Let's move on. Verse 9. Only do not rebel against Yahweh, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their defense has turned away from them, and Yahweh is with us. Do not fear them. But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the esteem of Yahweh appeared in the tent of appointment before all the children of Israel. No wonder my alarm didn't go off at 7:40 this morning. Sorry about that, guys. That actually scared me. And no cowards in the kingdom. All right, verse 11. And Yahweh said to Moshe, how long shall I be scorned by these people? And how long shall I not be trusted by them? With all the signs which I have done in their midst, right? Let me strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. It's getting hot in here. And Moshe said to Yahweh, then the Mitzrites shall hear it, the Egyptians shall hear it, for by your power you brought these people up from their midst. And they shall say to the inhabitants of this land, they have heard that you, Yahweh, are in their midst. And these people, that you, Yahweh, are seen eye to eye, and that your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a column of cloud by day, and in a column of fire by night. Now, if you shall kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your report shall speak, saying, because Yahweh was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he slew them in the wilderness. And now, I pray, let the power of Yahweh be great, as you have spoken, saying, Yahweh is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. This is confirmed. Oh, sorry, that's a note. Okay, so I want to pause on this verse real quick. Okay, this is a very interesting verse. Yahweh is patient and of great loving commitment, forgiving crookedness and transgression, comma, but by no means leaving unpunished. Okay, we may be forgiven and still receive punishment. You understand? Okay, so if we're dealing with things, whatever it is, health issues from our sinful past, there's a lot of things that I'm not going to go through examples, But there's a lot of ways that our sin can leave its mark on our life, okay? And that's not unforgiveness. He forgives, but he by no means leaves us unpunished, okay? Because he chastens those who he loves. He punishes incorrect behavior, just like a good father punishes incorrect behavior in their children. Okay, let's move on. Verse 19. Please forgive the crookedness of this people according to the greatness of your loving commitment, as you have forgiven this people from Mitzrayim even until now. And Yahweh said, I shall forgive according to your word. But truly, as I live, and all the earth is filled with the esteem of Yahweh, for none of these men who have seen my esteem and the signs which I did in Mitzrayim and in the wilderness, and have tried me now these 10 times, and have disobeyed my voice, shall see the land which I swore to their fathers, nor any of those who scorned me see it. Okay? I forgive them, he says, but they are not going in the land. Okay? This feels like a father moment right here, doesn't it? Like, I forgive you, but you do not get, you do not get to go play with your friends. Okay? Sorry. Verse 24. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me completely, I shall bring into the land where he went, and his seed shall inherit it. Hashtag Caleb House, right? Caleb, it's a good dude, man. He shall inherit it. Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are dwelling in the valley, turn back tomorrow and set out into the wilderness by the way of the Sea of Reeds. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, How long shall this evil congregation have this grumbling against me? I have heard the grumblings which the children of Israel are grumbling against me. Say to them, As I live, declares Yahweh, as you have spoken in my hearing, so I do to you. The carcasses of you who have grumbled against me are going to fall in this wilderness, all of you who were registered, according to your entire number, from 20 years old and above. None of you except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Yehoshua, Joshua, son of Nun, shall enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would become a prey, I shall bring in, and they shall know the land which you have rejected. Why the little ones? Because they were born in the wilderness. They did not actually witness these miracles with their eyes, okay? He wants people to walk in faith. These people have seen and didn't believe. Blessed are those who have not seen and believe. Okay? Hope that's not out of context. I think it's relevant. Verse 32. But as for you, your carcasses are going to fall in this wilderness, and your sons shall be wanderers in the wilderness 40 years, and shall bear your whorings, until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness, according to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days, a day for a year, a day for a year. You are to bear your crookedness 40 years, and you shall know my breaking off. I am Yahweh. I have spoken. I shall do this to all the evil congregation who are meeting against me. In this wilderness they are consumed, and there they die. And the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation grumble against him by bringing an evil report of the land, even those men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before Yahweh. Of those men who went to spy out the land, only Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh remained alive. And when Moshe spoke these words to all the children of Israel, the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, See, we have indeed sinned, but we shall go up to the place which Yahweh had spoken of. But Moshe said, Why do you now transgress the mouth of Yahweh, since it does not prosper? Do not go up, lest you be smitten by your enemies, for Yahweh is not in your midst. Because the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from Yahweh. Yahweh is not with you. Let that sink in. Turn away from Yahweh. He's not with you. Just like when you draw towards him, he draws towards you. Turn away from him, and he's not going to have his hand of protection and blessing over you. Verse 44, but they presumed to go up to the mountaintop, but neither the ark of the covenant of Yahweh nor Moshe left the camp. So the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in that mountain came down and struck them and beat them down, even to Hormah. Chapter 15. Okay, and now we're going to learn about some tassels, guys. I don't know if you're with it or not, but we read it here, and if he says it, I do it. It's my conviction. Numbers 15. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to all the children of Israel, and say to them, when you have come into the land of your dwellings, which I am giving you, and you make an offering by fire to Yahweh, an ascending offering or a slaughtering, to accomplish a vow, or as a voluntary offering, or in your appointed times, to make a sweet fragrance to Yahweh from the herd or the flock. Then he who brings near his offering to Yahweh shall bring near a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil, and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. You prepare with the ascending offering, or the slaughtering for each lamb. Or for a ram you prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. And as a drink offering, you bring 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And when you prepare a young bull as an ascending offering, or as a slaughtering to accomplish a vow, or as a peace offering to Yahweh, then shall be brought with the young bull. Are you serious? Jeez. Then shall be brought with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/2 a hin of oil, and bring.
Kennel DJ, go. She'll stop when I go. Sorry.
Sorry, y'all. That pierces my ear and it ticks me off, to be honest. According to them, okay, sorry, I'm going to back up. I don't know where we left off. Verse 10. And bring as a drink offering 1/2 a hin of wine as an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. This is what is done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat, according to the number that you prepare. So you do for each one according to their number. Let all who are native do so with them, in bringing near an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh. And when a stranger sojourns with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and would make an offering made by fire, a sweet fragrance to Yahweh, as you do, so he does. One law is for you of the assembly, and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a law forever throughout your generations. As you are, so is the stranger before Yahweh. One Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. This is making it abundantly clear, okay? This is not just for bloodline Israel. This is for you, the sojourner, the stranger. If they're with you, they do this, it's a law for them too, okay? One Torah and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land which I am bringing you, then it shall be when you eat the bread of the land that you present a contribution to Yahweh. Present a cake of the first of your dough as a contribution. As a contribution of the threshing floor, you present it. On the first of your dough, you are to give to Yahweh a contribution throughout your generations. And when you sin by mistake and do not do all these commands, which Yahweh has spoken to Moshe, show the difference between, okay, are these actual verses or am I just, I don't want to read footnotes. Sorry. And when you sin by mistake and do not do all these commands which Yahweh has spoken to Moshe, all that Yahweh has commanded you by the hand of Moshe from the day Yahweh gave command and onward throughout your generations, then it shall be, if it is done by mistake, without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall prepare one young bull as an ascending offering, as a sweet fragrance to Yahweh, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the right ruling, and one male goat as a sin offering. Then the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was by mistake. And they shall bring their offering, an offering made by fire to Yahweh, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their mistake. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger who sojourns in their midst, because all the people did it by mistake. And if a being sins by mistake, then he shall bring a female goat a year old as a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for the being who strays by mistake, and when he sins by mistake before Yahweh, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. You see, when sin happens, the high priest or the priest has to make the atoning sacrifice for that sin. And this is part of, I don't think a lot of people understand this about our Messiah, that he is high priest in the order of Melchizedek. So he is responsible for this type of forgiveness, right? He's making atonement. This is why on the Day of Atonement we afflict our souls and we remember what he's done for us. So it's both bitter and sweet, right? Like he has atoned for our sin, and that is an amazing, blessing that we do not deserve. So we got gratitude, but also, we also mourn what we've innocent blood had to be spilled because of our sin. Anyways, let's keep going. Verse 29. For him who does whatever by mistake, there is one Torah, both for him who is native among the children of Israel and for the stranger who sojourns in their midst. But the being who does whatever defiantly, whether he is native or a stranger, he reviles Yahweh, and that being shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of Yahweh and has broken his command. That being shall certainly be cut off. His crookedness is upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moshe and to Aaron and to all the congregation. And they put him under guard, because it had not been declared what should be done to him. And Yahweh said to Moshe, the man shall certainly be put to death, all the congregation stoning him with stones outside the camp. And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he died. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them to make tzitzit, to make tassels, on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit. This is the only thing that we find, you guys, in Scripture. It's got to have a blue cord in it. A lot of people get caught up on how the knots are tied, and there's a lot of cool symbolism that you can put into it. But when it comes down to it, those are traditional things. Those are traditions. There's nothing wrong with traditions unless you become dogmatic and insist that only be done that certain way. That's called dogmatic, and putting commandments of men, doctrines of men as commandments of Yah. We don't do that. So we have tassels with a blue cord in it. I like to call the blue cord the original thin blue line, right? Because it represents upholding the law. Interesting. If you haven't heard that before, I can't take credit for it. I heard it somewhere, but it's the thin blue line. Yah ordained the thin blue line. We uphold the law of Yahweh. Remember to keep it. Speak to the children of Israel, verse 38, and say to them to make tzitzits on the corner of their garments. Doesn't say to put it on your tunic or your pants or your shirt. It doesn't say, just on the corners of your garments throughout their generations, and to put a blue cord in the tzitzit on the corners. And it shall be to you for a tzitzit, and you shall see it, and shall remember all the commandments of Yahweh, and shall do them. That's why we wear them, to remember, to keep and do his commands, and not search after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you went a whoring, so that you remember and shall do all my commandments, and be set apart unto your Elohim. I, Yahweh your Elohim, I am Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim. I'm going to come back over to the chat so I can see, so that we can converse a little bit. Please send me some, Lucia. I'll pay for someone else's too. That's my dad in the chat. Hi, Dad. Yeah, we'll hook you up. Actually, Jordan and I just printed the hoodies. We didn't have a medium hoodie. You wanted one, and now we got them. So we'll hook you up with some tzitzits and a sanctified hoodie. And yeah, and you don't gotta pay for them, but we will pay it forward. Okay, if you want to bless somebody else, we'll bless you. And yeah. But anyways, where are we at? We're at an hour. See, my internal clock is working. I knew we were at about an hour. So let me quit sharing this. Okay, you guys take mental note. Okay, we're gonna start back on chapter 16 when we jump back in next time. Stop sharing the screen. 15 people in here, 21 thumbs up, more thumbs up than people in here. That's awesome. We must have had some people that had to get off to bed so they can wake up early. All right. I know you do, Dad. You've inspired me to do the same thing. I love blessing people, and hopefully we get to operate from a position of strength here, and we can be more of a blessing to more people. My motivation with what we do with Sanctified is, I just want to have my needs met. It's not like I don't care about making money. I hate money. I wish that we didn't have to operate with money. We want to grow our own food and get out of the system, and I encourage you guys to do the same thing. But anyways, yeah, we can use it. We can use it to operate from a position of strength. Let's face it. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it can buy you a car that runs right. And you're not going to, I always joke around, and money won't buy you happiness, but it'll buy you a dirt bike. You never seen somebody looking sad on a dirt bike. But anyways, yeah, thanks, Dad. Appreciate your inspiration. Many of you don't know this, but my dad used to buy t-shirts with evangelistic messages on them when I was a boy, and he used to buy them by the box and just give them to people. And that was the inspiration. That seed was planted in me when I was just a boy, and I didn't know, I didn't really see that that's where it came from until actually recently, maybe in the last year or so. And so I praise the Most High for, his good works, planting seeds right there in his home. He had a box full of seeds, and some of them just fell out inside the house, right? But
that and the coffee guy.
Yeah, what coffee guy?
Yeah, the coffee guy.
What coffee guy?
Remember the coffee guy you told me about, and
Oh yeah, Dad. Who was the coffee guy? He had a coffee stand.
Yeah, and
outside.
That's what we want.
It wasn't a coffee guy. He was really cool. He had a coffee stand outside your shop, and anyways, he brought out the coffee stand, and he trained me how to run it and how to make espresso, and I ran that little coffee. Andy Riggs, man, I love that guy. I want to get a hold of him. He planted seeds. Now we have our own coffee. Moose Run Coffee roasts it, but we got our own branded coffee now, and we want to start a coffee truck, and that kind of stuff is inspiration too.
Teach teenagers how to run a business. Wow, how did that feel?
Did he just spill water on himself? Let me get that boy in here. Show him to Grandpa.
He's cracking himself up. I put him up to the mirror. I don't know if he did.
Got the grandbaby here. All right. Yeah, I'll get a hold of Andy Riggs on Facebook. Like he looks like I did when I was a little baby.
It's okay, I'm right here. You're cute too.
Asher, look over here. Look over here. Say hi to Grandpa. There's Levi.
Hi.
Hi. But man, yeah, okay, so I need you to help me keep up with the chat, babe.
Oh, okay. Can I have my baby back?
Yeah, here, take the baby.
No.
Take the baby.
Let me take him, Levi.
Okay, so what? Sometimes you got a sparkle fart?
What?
That's somebody's name in here. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
You seem like a cheerful fella.
Thank you, Moose Run. Yes, that blend is my favorite too. I love it. I medium roast is my jam. Dark roast is good too, but medium roast is better. I mean, that's what I say anyways. Okay. Say hi to Grandpa the Hot Wheel guy.
Hi.
He's in the chat. So, Levi, what happened to your hair?
My dad cut it.
Yeah, why did I cut it?
Because you cut it.
I just cut it. I just woke up one day, went in the mirror and grabbed my beard shaver, took off the guard, and I cut your hair?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that story. You know, that's not... Quit pulling on my shirt.
Dean Mullen says you can't swing a cat without hitting a coffee guy. I would argue that.
What's a cat? What do you mean? Like
you can't, just think about what he said. You can't swing a cat without hitting a coffee guy.
I'm not even... And I don't know what that means.
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean just think about it? Can't swing a cat.
Without hitting a coffee guy.
I have no idea.
How short's a cat? A cat's not very big. All I know is
I'm not sure.
There's not that many coffee guys.
If I don't get it, I don't get it. So,
bless your heart.
Dean Mullis, I'm sure you're right. I don't typically swing cats, but I'm probably just not picking up on what you're throwing down.
I think
apologize.
it's kind of like a ball
All right,
carrier.
enough in my ear, please. Thanks.
Hey, buddy, go in the room.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. You got a lot of energy still. You can go rest.
Yeah, my dad said I don't get it either. I don't understand. Darker the better, JS Genesis Designs. A lot of people like the dark roast, but I like my coffee to still have coffee taste. Light roast is more caffeinated. That's true. Medium is right there in the meat. Man, it's just like that. It's like, what is it? Is it Goldilocks? Is it Goldilocks? Yeah. This porridge is just right. It's the medium blend. It's just right. Right in the middle. Was it hat? Swing a hat? I don't know. The new espresso blend is bomb. I'll have to try it out. I got an espresso maker. This is my little espresso setup right here. Right there. I can't. It's reverse. It's a little espresso machine. It does the trick. Lately, I've been doing pour over. I like me some pour over.
Oh, yeah.
Nathan Butler, shalom. Dark roast is the only way to go. Well, Nathan, you seem to like my medium roast there. So go.
Oh, I gotta text them. I want to rope them into coming here for Hebrew Fest.
Oh yeah, Hebrew Fest is gonna be awesome, man. I'm gonna try to get my dad out here for Hebrew Fest. Dark roast all day. I took a poll before I decided on medium roast. I was kind of gonna do medium roast no matter what because it's my jam, you know. And but anyways, more people voted for medium roast than dark roast. But here's one thing I know about doing polls. is you'll do a poll and you'll say, hey, do you guys like Woodland or multicam? And everybody will vote for Woodland, but the multicam sells out. So, I mean, you vote with your dollar. So, you like the medium roast? Buy the medium roast. Like the dark roast? Buy that dark roast. I know Moose Run's got all the roasts. You'll make it just how you want it. You quit coffee 2 weeks ago. Good for you, Dad. I'm actually cutting back on my coffee. Don't tell Moose. Moose, don't worry about that. I'm just cutting back a little bit. I'm not quitting altogether. Don't worry. You ain't no quitter. Multicam. All right, real quick. Just curious. Multicam or Woodland? What do you guys think? What do you think? Multicam or Woodland? Put 1 for multicam, 1 for multicam. Put a 2 for Woodland. Put a 3 if you just don't care. 1 multicam, 2 Woodland. Oh, Lucia, you're a multicam?
No, because I like the desert tan.
I'm a brown hat now.
I like the desert tan, and I like OG.
Yeah, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. Palmetto, it just depends on what he's wearing that day. He's got to have both.
Storm's multicam sucks. Just straight up.
Yep, Sergeant Storms will tell you that
Good for him.
Woodland is God's camo. Okay, you know. All right, Dad, you don't care. 3. I got Nathan Butler says multicam. Learning the Way says multicam. Jimmy Carr, you don't care neither. You know what? I'm actually in that third camp because I don't care. I don't have I like them both. I like them both. I like camo in general. What I don't like actually is I really don't like urban camo.
Oh, I do.
Like the gray and black.
I like it with a little splash of purple.
With a splash of purple?
Yeah. I used to
that
wear
makes
that.
sense. Lucia has an AR-15 with leopard spotted camo, and she did that herself. It looks awesome. I'm not going to lie. Like leopard print camo, and it's pretty nice. Desert camo. Okay, yeah. So arid multicam. That's like what our multicam is, actually an arid. Worst camo colors, ACU, followed close by multicam.
What's ACU stand for?
I don't actually know what ACU is, to be honest. But it's probably digital camo, if I had to guess, because I'm not a fan of that kind. That one's pretty bad. Army combat uniform. Hey, Palmetto, I just wanted to give you a major props on that sriracha that you made.
Oh, I know what he's talking about.
Just about emptied that bottle today. In fact, I had it on hot dogs. Can you believe that? It was really good. And I also have this
Can you quit chewing on
ghost pepper
Verde?
salt. Ghost pepper salt.
Sorry.
So I literally just pulverized in a mortar with mortar and pestle. Ghost peppers, like dried ghost peppers, and then I mixed it with some salt from Parakeet Salt. I don't know if you've heard of them, but Parakeet Salt makes amazing finishing salts if you're into that sort of thing. But anyways, I took the rest of this spicy salt that he sent me, and I just wanted it to be way spicier. So I mixed it 50-50 with ground ghost peppers. And man, anything you want, there's no such thing as not spicy enough with that stuff. You just, and it doesn't change the flavor, which is my favorite thing. You can make anything spicy, and it doesn't really mess with the flavor much. Plaid is the OG camo.
I learned that from Saw.
Oh, the jalapeno honey is so good. I was just pouring that straight onto tortilla chips. It is so good. M81 Woodland, Buffalo Plaid.
I either heard that from Saw or I heard that from when I was researching the boonie hats. I can't remember because I was doing a bunch of research at that time. But I did hear that plaid is the original camo.
Yeah, we heard that from Saw.
Okay.
But I don't know if he was just saying that tongue in cheek.
I took it for real. I took it literal.
It breaks up. It breaks up the shape of the human body, I suppose. OD green is my go-to this year. OD green is my favorite. Even my gray is kind of OD green. This is called warm gray. I love it. All of our colors are kind of just earth tones. We have light OD, we've got OD, we've got warm gray.
We try to mix it up, but it's what's popular. It's what people like.
And I like to make shirts that I want to wear. That's kind of where I'm at with it, is I get to exercise my imagination, and then my beautiful and talented wife can just make my little brain babies come to life. And my real babies. Little guy. Moedim shirt for the guys in the fellowship. Man, we're about to print more Moedim shirts tomorrow.
I want to do like a girly version of the Moedim shirt also eventually.
Yeah, we're going to do another version. In fact, we're also going to unpack that, and we're going to do a shirt for each of the Moedim. And somebody did mention that we should include the Sabbath. Now, I agree, but it's not an annual Moedim. So it's like, that's why we did it like the 7 yearly feast days, but we should definitely do a Sabbath shirt too.
I feel like it's like with any design you do, everybody wants to put their input, but they're not making t-shirts. So it's like, it's good input.
Richard Barber said, my wife said Moedim for women ASAP. Yeah, we do want to do more women's designs. It makes sense, even though I think close to 70% of our demographic are men. It says 80, but I'm going to guess that it's probably, we'll say 75. We'll split it. But even so, women tend to purchase for their husbands more than husbands will buy for themselves. In some cases. What is it? Is it what he's doing in there?
It's everything. Yeah, it's just, I'm ready for bed.
It's been a long day.
It's been way too long.
Moedim, the Cloud Rider shirt, navy blue with lightning. Moedim, the Cloud Rider. Unpack that for me. What does that mean? I mean, I imagine that's Yeshua, but...
My plan for the Moedim merch line is for each Moedim doing a specific shirt. But I kind of want to keep it clean. I don't really want to do a bunch of imagery on our t-shirts. For one, I like the more traditional, like 1970s, like blue collar business t-shirt style. Like very, like it ages well. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of our demographic is also like people in their 30s and 40s, and you know, less imagery is probably better in most cases. So I really want to just do clean, simple designs that are more based on scripture. So somebody can.
Good night, Dad. Love you. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Shalom, shalom. Yeah, Palmetto said that, and women can wear men's tees, but men won't wear women. Can't wear women's tees. We don't want.
That's why I won't do a unisex V-neck. Everybody disagrees with me, but I don't care.
'80s hairband designs of the pillar of fire and Yahweh's hand throwing bolts of lightning at Pharaoh. Dude, that would be so good. Actually, I love that idea.
I screenshotted
Oh man, I hope that I made it so that when we replay this back, we can see the comments. The comments are gold, man. I don't know, like watching these live streams after the live is over would be pretty. I mean, after the reading portion is over. This is my, favorite part is when I get to hang with you guys after reading, and we get to hang out a little bit. Obviously, the reading's good anytime, but you can read by yourself, but you can't do this by yourself. That's all I mean. So much crosstalk. I know. It's hard to keep. It's kind of hard to keep up in the chat at times, but it's cool. We don't usually have enough people in the chat to really crosstalk too much. So, anyways, Splitting Seas and Mitzrayim's since before these Moedim. Yeah, there's since before these Moedim. Yeah, that's true. Well, I think the feasts were always a thing. I think that Cain and Abel were giving their first fruits offering. I think that was the Feast of First Fruits. And I do believe also that the tradition, or not the traditions, the commandments were known from the beginning. I believe this. Okay, I won't be able to substantiate this right now, but I'll look to do that in the future. But here's why I believe that is because they were bringing an offering to the Most High, and there were different offerings. I don't believe that Cain's was rejected because it wasn't a lamb. Now, I think that there's plenty of symbolism in that, but I think that he brought second best. I think he brought fruit and veggies or whatever he tilled from the ground that wasn't the best of his harvest. I don't think that he brought the first fruits, like the best. I think his sacrifice was weak. God was not happy with it. And then because he opened the door, he already had this, open door where he was making compromise. He knew to bring the best. I believe he knew to bring the best, and he didn't. But anyways, envy set in for his brother. Where there's envy and strife, there's every form of wickedness. He probably did. He probably brought the fruit that was all bruised up, and he didn't want to eat it anyways. And yeah.
Well, we know one thing for sure, and that is that there will for sure be a Moedim after Yeshua comes.
Yeah. Genesis Designs, I believe that is 100% true too. The first sacrifice to cover sin was for Adam and Eve, and he covered them with skin. And I imagine, I can't prove it, but I imagine it was lamb skin. I imagine that was the lamb that was slain for their sin. Having Moses put the 10 Commandments in a bucket with a Mylar bag would be wrong. Yeah. I think the reason that the 10 Commandments were given on Mount Sinai is because they just spent like 400 years in Egypt, and they had lost their culture. They had lost their way. They didn't know what the commandments were anymore. I don't think. Maybe they did a little bit, like they had some idea, but they were not keeping it. They were clearly missing Egypt when they left, as we're just reading.
There was a study by Sean talking about how they weren't worshiping the calf thinking it was for God. And I wanted to listen to that.
Ooh, me too.
It looked really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like sometimes we just have our own preconceived notions of what scripture's saying because we've been fed stories our whole lives without reading it out for ourselves for what it says,
Yeah, for sure. Genesis Designs says Moses' tabernacle was a copy of what was already in heaven.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Always put your tablets in an OtterBox and keep them backed up to the cloud. that's there's so much in that right there, right? You put you put the tablets in the Ark of the Covenant, the OtterBox.
I get it.
That's pretty good. I don't know where you heard that, Sergeant Storms, or if you made that up yourself, but mad props on that. That's pretty cool.
We are on Facebook friends with him, and he shares the best memes.
Did Moses kill? Certainly he picked up a stone if Yahweh told him to. Did he murder? I don't think he murdered. Actually, he did. He did murder before he left Egypt, for sure. But he was doing that. I don't know. That could be debatable on whether or not that was justified. He was like,
Moses killing that guy?
Yeah, he killed a guy. Yeah, he murdered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, Moses killed. He was a trained soldier of war. Yeah, he had skills. He had skills. All right, guys. I love y'all. I don't want to take up too much of your night, and we're gonna go start getting the boys to sleep, and we'll catch you again soon. Soonish being Friday. Let's do that.
Oh,
Prep.
wait.
What?
We have that thing we might be doing Friday. Is that going to be all day? Are we going to go up there and do
I thought that was gonna be tomorrow.
Well, we don't know if it's tomorrow or Friday, so
Okay.
we have stuff going on. Hopefully Friday.
We'll keep you posted. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll catch you in another video soon. Shalom.